Is Men in Black 5 ever actually happening, and when can we expect it? The Men in Black franchise is all about this secret government agency that keeps Earth safe from aliens, and it's got that fun sci-fi twist on the classic buddy cop vibe. There's definitely room for tons of sequels with new alien bad guys, but there are a few hiccups in getting Men in Black 5 off the ground. It's been a few years since the last main film in the series, and Will Smith, who starred in the franchise, has been dealing with a lot of controversies lately. The last film, Men in Black International, didn't exactly win over the critics and didn't do so hot at the box office, bringing in just over $253 million worldwide. Thanks, Box Office Mojo. While that's not a small number, it's not exactly stellar for a big-budget flick in a popular series. Still, the Men in Black brand is super valuable, which makes it feel like Men in Black 5 is pretty much bound to happen. But is it officially confirmed, and when will it actually come out? So, the latest scoop on Men in Black 5 is that it's reportedly in development over at Sony. However, the studio hasn't officially announced it yet. But let's be real, Sony loves to milk a franchise. Just look at how they handled Ghostbusters Frozen Empire and their Marvel movies. It sounds like Men in Black 5 is gearing up to bring Will Smith back into the mix, marking his return to the franchise after a decade away. According to reliable sources, Columbia Pictures is considering rebooting the series after being on the back burner for a while. Having Will Smith come back is likely an attempt to correct the course after the last film didn't hit the mark. This could also hint that Will's image rehabilitation is in full swing, with studios willing to give him another shot. If he does return, it'll be as Agent J, a role he first took on in the original Men in Black back in 1997 alongside Tommy Lee Jones. Smith last played the character in Men in Black 3 in 2012, where he was briefly reunited with Jones before time travel shenanigans brought in Josh Brolin. The Men in Black franchise, along with Bad Boys, has been one of Will Smith's most successful ventures, so it makes sense for both him and the studio to want to breathe new life into it. That said, Men in Black 5 will have to navigate the fallout from Will Smith's infamous slap of comedian Chris Rock at the 94th Academy Awards. After that incident, his once stellar public image took a serious hit, leading to canceled projects and even his expulsion from the Academy. It's a tough spot for any celebrity to bounce back from, but given Will's immense popularity across various demographics, he might just pull it off. The fact that Men in Black 5 might feature Will Smith again suggests he's starting to regain his footing in Hollywood. It's pretty telling that he's even considering jumping back into a franchise he seemingly moved on from. It feels like a smart move to go for something familiar and safe. Given the loyal fan base for the Men in Black series, this could be a win-win for both Will and the studio. On top of that, Will's new film Emancipation is already being talked about as a potential contender for the Academy Awards. Directed by Antoine Fuqua, the guy behind Training Day, the film tells the true story of a runaway slave who fought in the Civil War, and it stars Will as the lead character, Gordon. If there's a chance he could snag some award nominations shortly after the scandal, it really sets the stage for Men in Black 5 to come together. But then there's the big question: would Tommy Lee Jones also return to co-star alongside Will? Their chemistry is a huge part of what made the franchise so beloved, and it's one of the reasons Men in Black 3 and Men in Black International didn't quite hit the mark. It'll be interesting to see if they can persuade Tommy to come back to the series. Fingers crossed that all the pieces fall into place. That said, back in 2014, when Sony got hacked, some interesting plans came to light about a crossover between the Men in Black and 21 Jump Street franchises. Imagine Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum's undercover cops teaming up with the MIB to stop an alien invasion. Rodney Rothman, who co-wrote 22 Jump Street, was working on the script, but it never took off. With Hill and Tatum busy with other projects, coordinating schedules with the A-list stars from Men in Black was probably a bit of a nightmare. As for Men in Black 5, there's no official plot yet, but there are tons of mind-bending sci-fi ideas from previous films that a new sequel could dive into. For instance, it could explore the time travel concept introduced in Men in Black 3, taking us into the future. Or it might even pick up on that wild revelation from Men in Black 2 that our entire universe exists inside a locker at a giant alien train station. Of course, Men in Black 5 might stick to the classic franchise formula, bringing in a new alien threat that the MIB has to thwart. Whatever direction they choose, fans can expect a mix of action, humor, and plenty of alien hijinks. So why was the 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover script never filmed? Well, even though both franchises have their own charm, they were pretty much polar opposites in terms of tone, which made it tough to mash them together. Men in Black expertly balanced humor with the classic sci-fi tension, while 21 Jump Street leaned heavily on crude and light-hearted comedy, making it hard to find common ground. This mismatch in dynamics ultimately led to the crossover being shelved indefinitely. Phil Lord and Chris Miller were initially set to write the script for this crossover, which had fans buzzing. However, Sony decided to go in a different direction and released Men in Black International instead of MIB 23. Honestly, I think that was a smart move at the time. It allowed the Men in Black universe to develop further without compromising its stakes. Plus, it kept 21 Jump Street from becoming a self-parody, avoiding the risk of turning into the very thing it often mocked. Still, I can't help but wonder what MIB 23 would have been like. Would the absurd premise have worked on the big screen? It's one of those what-if scenarios that leaves fans curious about the missed potential of a wacky crossover. Originally, MIB 23 was set to be directed by James Bobin, known for The Muppets. In this version, Janko and Schmidt would drop their undercover personas and become the newest recruits of the secretive government agency. The script aimed to capture the iconic stern yet ironic tone of Men in Black while putting Hill and Tatum's characters front and center in a globe-trotting adventure filled with extraterrestrial twists. However, it seems Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones wouldn't be returning for this comedic crossover. Just thinking about Janko and Schmidt tackling an out-of-this-world scenario feels like pure comedy gold, making it a real bummer that the project never came to fruition. But there's a glimmer of hope. Channing Tatum's enthusiasm for the idea is encouraging. After all, Fox's failed X-Men movie got a second chance 10 years later with Tatum's cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. So who knows? Maybe there's still a chance for MIB 23 to make a comeback one way or another down the line. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the potential for Men in Black 5? Are you excited to see Will Smith return, or do you think the franchise should explore new directions? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop, and feel free to share your thoughts about this video in the comments.